Hello everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel Easy Explanation. So this is part 2 of our video tutorial series Python for Finance. In this video tutorial we'll be learning about basics of Python programming language. So let us start our hands-on tutorial. So I'll be using Google's Colab in order to execute the Python code online. So you can use your own favorite code editor and interpreter in order to execute the code. So if you have not set up your Python environment, then I provided the link in the description section of this video tutorial. Please go through that link in order to set up your own Python environment. So in order to execute the code, I will be creating one new notebook, and all the files of this Google Colab notebook will be stored in your Google Drive. So I'll be giving a name to this notebook file, basic Python. Here I'll be creating one text cell. Here I'll be writing basic data types in Python. So you can use these options to bold it or to make it heading and all. So shift enter to execute this text, and now this is the Python shell. Here you can execute the Python program. So the basic data type in Python are, the first is number. In number we'll be learning about integer as well as float data type. Okay, now as you already know that Python is a dynamic typed programming language, we do not need to define the data types while declaring a variable. You can directly declare a variable and associate a value to it in order to define a variable in Python. Let us say I want to create an integer variable. So integer variable directly can be created by writing a variable name and assigning an integer value. A equals to 10, b equals to 20. So now it is taking some time to execute the code. Now since the code has executed, you will get the cell number there. Now we can print the value using print statement. You can print something like a equals to, this is the placeholder for a, and b equals to placeholder for b. Then write dot format a comma b. So this is one way to write the print statement, or you can write something like this: print a equals to comma a, then comma b equals to comma b. So whichever syntax you feel comfortable to work with, you can write like that. Okay, so these are the syntax we'll be using to write the print statement. Now you can check the data type. Since we are not associating the data type while declaring the variable, however you can check the data type using type function. So I'll be writing type of a, so you can see it is of type int, and again type of b, it is of type int. Okay, now I'll be creating one more variable with floating point value, so 20.5. If I write print x, and if you want to get the data type of x, you can pass the variable as argument to the type function. You will get data type of x is float. Okay, so this is about the number or integer and float data type. Then another we have is string data type. String. So what is a string? So strings are sequence of characters enclosed within single quote or double quote. So any sequence of characters or any character enclosed within single quote or double quote is treated as a string in Python. You can create a string something like this: s equals to hello world. So when you print s, it will print the value of s, which is hello world. If you want to check the data type, and you can print type of s. So int s belongs to data type str. Now you can see str is declared as a class. So Python is a pure object. Since Python is a pure object-oriented programming language, all the data type of Python is declared as a class. So all the variable that you create of that given data type is nothing but an object of that class. So here s is the object of class string. Since we also know that in the given object we can have method called or method defined for that object, and we can call that method by using that object. Now see here, what are the different method available for strings? You can check that method using the dir function. Dir, in that pass the variable name. So you can see these are the methods, or these are the many methods available for strings. So you can use this method according to your requirements. Okay, dirfs produces this result. So I will comment it out. You can check in your system dirfs. If you want to check what are the methods available, so you can write s dot and press the tab button. S dot. So you can see these are the different methods available for string. So you can use these methods according to your requirements. What type of requirement you have in your program or in your problem, you can use these methods. Suppose I want to capitalize the first letter of this hello world statement. So I will call the function s dot capitalize. Now you can see the first letter of this h has been capitalized here. Now you can call the method upper s dot upper. So s dot upper will produce the hello world. S dot upper produces the hello world. So you have other method also, like s dot now we have another method called as a replace. Now suppose in the hello world, in this string, I want to replace world with another word called as a how are you. So I'll write here s dot replace world with the string how are you. Okay, now see, we have got a new string hello how are you. Now you can see the original string still remains same. It is hello world only. We have tried to replace the world with this text or this string, but still we have the original string remain here. So a string is a immutable data type. You cannot change the value of a string. So every time when you call a function on the string, it creates a new string. So a string is called as a immutable data type. If you want to store the result of this method, then you can use a variable something like this, temp equals to s dot replace. Now the result of this method will be stored in the variable temp. Now when you print temp, you will get the original value. Okay, so in this way you can use the different methods that are available for strings in Python programming language. Now we have to understand the concept of slicing in a string, slicing and dicing a string in Python. Okay, so how to slice the string, or how to get individual characters from the given string if you want. So for that you have to perform the slicing operation. So you have to understand that all characters of strings are indexed from 0 to length minus 1 of given string. Okay, now how to get the length of the string? So we have a method called as a len. So when you write len of temp, then you can see len of temp will return total number of character in the given string. So it counts a space also as a character. So when you count that total number of character in the string, you can get the string length as 20. Now for this string temp, the index will start from 0 to length minus 1, which is 19. So the total index will be from 0 to 19. Now how to slice the values, or how to slice the string? So syntax slice string is something like this. Then we have variable and then start colon end index, start index, and then we have end index. We have to understand one more thing. By default start index is 0 and end index is length minus 1. Okay, so we'll be using this concept to slice a string. So suppose I want to extract hello, only hello from the string hello how are you. So it is defined where? In the variable temp. So from temp I want to get hello, so it starts from 0. So 0 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5. So when write temp of 0 is to 5, start index is 0 and end index is 5, you'll see you'll get the all the characters. So 0, so 1 2 3 4 5, all the characters we have got. So start index is 0 and end index is 5. So you can see H is at 0, E is at 1, 2 is at L is at 2, other L is at 3, and O is at index 4. So but I have used what? 5 here. So since we have to extract total 5 characters, so we have to mention 0 colon 5. Now as I have discussed earlier, the default start index is 0. So you can write the above statement something like this also, temp is to 5. Okay, it also prints hello. Now suppose you want to get how. So what will be the index of how? So you can slice how key a text from this string using temp. Start index will be 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, most probably 8. So if you write 8, see what it will give you, H. Okay, this is what we require. So we need HOW. So 8 it is to, So 8, 9, 10. So if you write 8 is to 10, see what it returns. It just return HO. So what you have to do, since you have to extract 3 characters, so when you subtract 10 minus 8, it tells you 2 characters only. So what we'll do is, I will write 8 is to 11. Now you can see it extracts the given substring from the given string. So you can refer to individual characters by simply writing temp and the index value. So since here the index value of hello is how much? 0. H in hello is 0, so we can get H like this. Now so from left to right, the strings are indexed from 0 to length minus 1, and from right to left they are indexed from minus 1 to given length. So we'll create another string called as a s is equals to thank you. Okay, and when you write s minus 1, see, you'll get the last character which is u, and when you write s of minus 1 is to okay, so minus 1 is to also LCU how much? From minus 1 to last, because last index of means after the last index we do not have any character, so it needs only u here. Okay, so if I'll say when we'll start the indexing from right, we'll get minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6, minus 7, minus 8, minus 9. So see, if I'll write something like minus 9 is to minus 1, we are getting how much? Thank, we are not getting u. So minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6, minus 7, minus 8. So if I write minus 9 is 2, see here we are getting the result. Okay, minus 9 is 2. So from right to left, the index starts from minus 1 up to that many characters, and from left to right it starts from 0 to length minus 1. This is the thing you need to remember for strings. Now after strings we have another data type called as a boolean. Boolean data types. So boolean data types have two values, true and false. In Python we'll be writing true statement with capital T. Suppose we are comparing 10 greater than 4, you see is true value, and 4 less than 10 or 4 greater than 10 is false value. So true and false. So true start with capital letter T and false start with the capital letter F. So true and false are the values of the boolean data type in Python programming language. Now after these basic data types, let us learn about the Python operators. So Python operator in Python. So you can see I have already mentioned here the basic operator in Python are arithmetic operator, assignment operator, comparison operator, logical operator, identity operator, and membership operator. In arithmetic operator you must be familiar with plus, minus, multiply and divide. So this floor division, this is modulus symbol, and this is raised to the power calculation. So let us use this unique 3 operators now. So suppose we have two variable, a equals to 2 and b equals to 5. So when I'll use the operator floor division, so this is floor division operator. Now if I'll write a, b, we have got the result as 0, so this is the floor value, and we'll write b, a, you'll get it as a 2 value. So in this way, if you want to perform the floor division or you want to get the result of floor division, you can use this double slash operator. Then another operator we have to learn about is modulus operator. So modulus operator, okay, a modulus operator returns remainder of division. Now let's see, when a modulus b, it should produce the result as 2 modulus 5, the remainder will be 2, and when we have again x equals to 10 and y equals to 2, and we'll write x modulus y, see the result as a 0. So because x is exactly divisible by 2y, so it produces the remainder as a 0 here. Now the another operator we have is double star. So if you want to calculate the raised to the power, suppose you want to calculate 2 raised to the power of 3, then you can use double star. You can see the value as 8, or you can write 4 star star 2, you'll get the value as 16. So these are the unique operators I have discussed. Then we have assignment operator like equals to. Equals to symbol is used to assign the values. And what is the plus equals to symbol? So plus equal to is shorthand notation for the following. See, suppose I have a equals to 10, then when I'll do a plus equals to 2, it means this statement means a equals to a plus 2. When I print the value of a, you get the value of a as a 12 here. Okay, so this is the shorthand. Plus equals to is shorthand notation for a equals to a plus 2. Sorry, a equals to a plus 2 here. Okay, so similarly for as a plus equals to, we have minus equals to, multiply equals to, and divide equals to. You can check the functionality of that assignment operator, minus equal to, multiply equals to, and all. Then we have a comparison operator. So the first is double equals to, stands for equality, and another this stands for inequality, and they are less than, greater than, less than, equals to, and greater than equals to. So let us check for another. So let us say we have a equals to 4 and b equals to also 4. When we write a equals to b, see the result, it is true, and a not equals to b, see the result, it should be false. So the comparison operator or relational operator returns the boolean values, and this comparison operator is mostly used in the control structure, like to define the condition for the conditional statement like if, elif, and similarly we will also be using this relational operator while defining the condition statement for the loops or terminating statement for the loops. Similarly, we have a logical operator. We can use the symbol and, or, and not to combine the two boolean values or two relational expression or more than two relational expression. Suppose I have something like 2 greater than 4 and 5 less than 6. You can see the result of this is false. So 2 greater than 4 is false, and true is false value. And write again the same statement with or 2 greater than 4 or 5 greater than 6. You can see the result as true value. So you can use this and or to combine the relational expression, and this it is also used in the loop controller structure as well as the decision controller structure. When write not of this result, so not will produce the negation values or complement value. If it is true, it will produce the false. If it is false, not will convert it into true value. Now see, so it produces what? The true result. It returns, sorry, it is this one. Okay, so this returns true result, and negation of true is what? False. So it returning the false value. Now after the logical operator, we have identity and membership operator. We will be learning about identity and membership operator in detail in the data structure part. Now coming to the control flow statement. So right here, control flow statement. Okay, in control flow statement we'll first be learning about if statement. So again one more text cell. So if statement. In if statement you have to understand one thing: to group the block of statement, it uses the indentation. Okay, we'll be using indentated block to denote this statement belongs to this if statement or else statement. So the syntax of if statement will be something like this: if expression, this expression should be evaluated to the boolean value. If the expression evaluates to true, then the statement belongs to if will be executed. Now how to denote the statement belongs to the if? So since Python do not uses curly braces to group the block of a statement, it uses spaces, which is called as the indentation. So which is called as the indentation. So we'll be using, mostly we'll be using 3 spaces. So for the first statement we'll be using 3 statement. So a statement that belongs to if. So statement 1, again another 3 statement, 3 spaces, and statement 2. So statement 3. In this way we'll be using indentation or spaces to group the statement that belongs to if statement. Now if this expression evaluates to false, then else part will be executed. In order to group the block of a statement for else, will be again using spaces or indentation. So 1, 2, 3, statement 1, statement 2, statement 3, and so on. So you can see here expression and 1 colon, and again after else write 1 colon. So this is the syntax of if statement. Now let us understand this. Okay, Now let us understand this by executing one code. So program to check if a given number is even or odd. Okay, so user will provide one number and then we will check that number for even or odd. So how to get the user input? So in Python we have a function called as input. So it accepts a message as its argument, like enter a number. So we'll be collecting the value returned by the input function in a variable called as x equals to this. I'll write as a 10 here. Now let us check the data type of value returned by the input function. So it returns a string. So how to convert a string into integer? Because we need an integer result, but input function is providing us with the string results. So how to convert a string into an integer? Then for that we have to understand the concept of typecasting. So I'll write it out here. Typecasting is a process to convert one data type into another. Okay, now how to convert one data type into another? So see here, let us say I have a equals to 10. So this is also a string, right? Because it is enclosed in double quote, and then we have a 20. When you write a plus bc, the result will be concatenated value, so 10 and 20. But if you want, I'll add 10 and means I'll add a and b and get the result as 30. So how to get the result? What you can do is you can typecast this string variable into the integer variable. So in order to typecast, so you have to typecast into int. So write int and then pass the variable int a plus int b. Okay, so we have got this thing. Now for integer, so you can write for integer typecasting you will have int function. For floating typecasting we'll have a float, and for a string typecasting we'll have a string. Now let us say we have s equals to 1 2 3 4. Now you want to convert this number into string data type, then you can write str of s, something like this. Okay, we got the result as 1 2 3 4. Now the question is again for the input function. Okay, we'll be converting this input value or the return values into integer. So control V. So how to convert? I'll pass this whole function through the integer function int of input. Now when the user enters the number as a 10, now if you will check the type of x, you will get the x as a integer values. So once we have a number, we'll write a code to check whether the given number is even or odd. So if expression will be num modulus 2 double equals to 0, then we can write print num comma is even number. Okay, again we'll start the else block, writing colon and a space, then print num is an odd number. Now you can see there is mistake here, name num is not defined. Okay, we have accepting the value in variable x, so I have to include here x. Now see again where I have used num. Okay, here again we have made mistake. I have to write here instead of x we have num, we have x. Now let us see the result. 10 is a even number. So I'll again execute this code, pass odd value. I'll pass 7, check the type and check the function. It produces a 7 is the odd number. Now this is simple if else statement. Now we can declare if else if ladder also, if elif ladder. So it is similar to our else if statement in Java and C programming language. So let us say I want to write a code that will check or find out the largest number among 3 numbers. So program to find largest among 3 numbers. Okay, so I'll accept the values from user. Let's say a equals to control b equals to control b, and c is equals to again control b. Integer number, integer number, and integer number. When you shift into it, the first number, let's say 10, second number 20, and the third number is 30. So a contains 10, b contains 20, and c contains 30. Now we'll be defining else if ladder to check whether the given number is which is largest number among 3. So if a is greater than b and a is greater than c, then we can print one colon and one indentation, print a is largest. Now we can define one more condition by using elif statement. So if b is greater than c and b is greater than a, then we can say that, then we can print b is largest. And in else part, if both this condition evaluates to true, if part also evaluates to true, elif part also evaluates to true, then what happens? Else block will be executed. So else block by default will be print c is largest. Okay, now we can see 30 is the largest, which is what the result we are trying to get. So in this way you can implement if statement, if else statement, and if elif block or if elif ladder. So as many conditions you have, you can check this condition using the elif statements. Elif statement is similar to the else if statement available in the traditional programming language which we use. So after that, if statement, we have to understand the looping statement. Now in Python programming language, most of the loop uses the function called as a range. Okay, so there is a function called as a range. So understanding the range function. Okay, so I'll write understanding the range function. Okay. So if you write help, within this function write range. So what this function returns? Okay, see help on range function. So range function is defined as start, comma, stop, comma, step. Right? Returns an object that produces a sequence of integer from start to stop. Right? So the sequence will, suppose the range is defined as range of I comma j. So it will produce the result as I plus 1, I plus 2 up to j minus 1. Not exactly up to j. It produces the result from I to j minus 1. So let us define and try to get range of 0 to 10. So we have the values from, so it will be, or it will generate the values from 0 to 9, because at that time point also in the description it has written if the start index is I and end index is j, so it produces the result as 0 to 9. So when you learn the least part, it will get much more clearer range function. So it produces all the numbers from 0 to 9, something like this: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So range of 10 produces this result actually. Okay, so you can define the range of any sort of values, like range of 3, 7. Okay, so it produces the result from 3 to 6. Okay, so you'll be using this range functionality in order to understand the concept of loop. So the first looping statement is for loop. Okay, so for loop can be defined something like this: for I in range of 10. Okay, so range of 10 produces which result? This result. And when you write for I in range of 10, the first value, which is 0, will be assigned into I. In the second iteration, 1 will be assigned into I. So we can print the value of I now. So print I. So see what the result will get. Okay, so in this way you can, suppose you have the element or area of size 10, then you can use the range of 10. Okay, so range of 10 produces the value from 0 to 9. So which is what we have printed here. Now another looping statement is while loop. So while loop, the syntax of while loop is also very much similar to Java and C programming language. Let us say we have variable I equals to 1. So initialization while the value of I is less than 10, then I will do print I, and after that I plus equals to 1. Now you can see it prints all the number from 1 to 9. So 9 is less than 10 and the value of I incremented to 10. So while condition become false and the loop will be terminated. So with while loop we can also use else statement. We can use else statement with while loop. So how to use the else statement with the while loop? You see here we have one example here. Okay, so something you can write like this also. Control C, else statement with while loop. So when this condition become false, then else part will be executed. Print executed after while condition evaluates to false. Now you can see it will print all the number, and at last when this condition evaluates to false, then last statement execute after while condition evaluates to false is also printed. Okay, so in this way we can use the else statement. Okay, we can also use the else statement with while loop. So now we have a break and continue statement. So we can also use else statement with for loop, also similar to the while loop. Now in order to understand the concept of break and continue statement, let us write a code to check whether the given number is prime or not. Very simple concept. Okay, so it uh, it will explain clearly how to use break statement within the given loop. So I'll write program to check if a number is prime or not. Okay, whether the given number is prime or not, we'll write in the code here. So you have to understand about the concept of break statement and continue statement. So break statement is used to terminate the loop, while the continue statement is used to skip the loop or skip the execution. And so break statement will take the control out of the loop, and continue statement will take the control to the initial of the loop or to the top of the loop. So I'll be displaying the concept of break statement by using this prime number function. So we'll ask the user to enter a number. X is equals to int input, enter a number. Okay, let us say the number is 7. Okay, now let us write the logic to check whether the given number is prime or not. So for I in range of, we'll divide this number 7 by all the numbers from 2 to 6. So how to get all the number from 2 to 6? So you can use a range function to generate these numbers. Generate from 2 to num. So by default this range function will generate all the number from 2 to num minus 1. Now if sorry, what is the value of num we have here? We are using the variable x instead of num. Okay, so we'll write x if x modulus I double equals to 0, then print. So if any of this number divides the given number, then we have to understand that this number is not a prime number. So x is not a prime number. Then break. Okay, and write the break statement. After that, when it will encounter the break statement, the loop will terminate it and control will go to the else part. So you can use else with while loop as well as with for loop. So you can write print x is a prime number. Okay, now let us see whether we'll get the desired result or not. So it is saying 7 is a prime number, obviously. Now we'll write check for 10. 10 is not a prime number. So it will, since 10 will be divided by any of this number between 2 and 9, right? So it will break the loop and control will come outside after printing this statement. 10 is not a prime number. Okay, so in this way you can use break statement in order to come out of the loop. So there is another statement called as a continue statement. Suppose you want to find out the sum of all the numbers from 1 to 10 except 2 and 3. So add all the numbers from 1 to 10 except 2 and 3. So you have to produce result of something like this: 1 plus 3 4, 1 plus 4 plus 5, 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10. So this will produce the results such as 1 plus 4 is 5 plus 5 10 plus 6 16, 16 plus 7 is 23, 23 plus 8 is 31 plus 9 is 40 plus 10 is 50. Almost it is 50. Let us see. whether it is 50 or not. Okay, so how to get this result? So I'll again declare a for loop for I in range of, I have to print all the number from 1 to 10 except 2 and 3. So I'll write 1 to 11. Now if the value of I is equals to 2 or the value of I is equals to 3, then we have to write again continue, means take the control to the top of the loop, else we can write sum plus equals to I, then define the value of sum, initial value of sum equals to 0. Okay, now you can display the value of sum, print sum equals to comma sum. Okay, sum equals to now 50. So what it is doing, it is adding all the number except the number 2 and 3. So you can use continue statement to take the control directly to the top of the loop. So in this way you can use the break and continue statement in C programming language. Now I will be discussing about the concept of functions and lambda expression, functions, lambda expression, Python data structures, different Python data structure in another video tutorial. So I hope every one of you have understood the concept. If you have any queries regarding what we have discussed today, please mention in the comment section, and please like, share and subscribe our channel for more updated videos, and please share with your friends these video links of the videos if they need to have the understanding of Python programming language. Till then, thank you for listening everyone. I'll end the discussion now.